If you let me save you, if you let me save you.
When I was 5 years old, I was watching the movie E.T. with my parents, and has anyone seen E.T.? There's a scene where Elliot and E.T. are in the kitchen, and they're on hospital beds, and they're dying, and Elliot's crying, and E.T. wants to go home, and I just burst into tears hysterically, ran down to my room, buried my head in my pillow, just crying and crying and crying, and my parents came in, they said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine." And throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, when normal things would happen, like I didn't get onto the basketball team, or, I mean, it's not so normal, but someone would pick on me, or a girl that I liked didn't like me back, I would have these bursts and emotional fits, and then every time after I was crying and screaming, "I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm fine." And then in high school, I found out that my grandmother had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and both of my great-grandmothers had committed suicide. So now it was, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me, and I am not like them. So I was pretty good at being fine by the time I was 17. And my first day of school was at NYU, September 11th, 2001. I don't know if anyone was there, but it was legitimately the most beautiful day of the year, hands down. Just like 70 degrees, beautiful, and I went to NYU, actually, as well. And there's a dorm there called Hayden, and I'm sitting in the dorm, and I'm literally the guy who on his first day of school, I had wanted to go to NYU forever, and I was there for music and art, and I put on my headphones and literally listened to the song Beautiful Day by U2, and I waited until the chorus came, so it was like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, it's a beautiful day, and I like burst out of the doors on the chorus, headed into the beautiful day. I was very proud of myself, how synchronized it was. Like, head up Fifth Avenue, got to school, and sat down in the first class was music theory. And I looked around, there's people from all around the world. I don't know anyone, and I could feel the anxiety creeping in. I take a breath, I'm fine. And then the head of the school came in and told us that the first building had fallen. And just like, we'll let you know what to do. We went back into class, which was really weird. And then they came back, they said the second building had fallen and we could all go. And this school was on 18th Street between 6th Avenue and 5th Avenue. And from 5th Avenue, if you're looking down, you had a straight shot of the Twin Towers. So I walked out of class, made a left, made a right onto 5th Avenue, and looked out, and it was just like, just this massive cloud of smoke. And time was stretched. You could just see people. Nobody knew what to do with themselves. And we're all standing there. And that moment there was the beginning of my unraveling. The next 2 years, I don't remember extremely clearly. But all I know is when I would drink until I blacked out. I would eat until I had to throw up. Like before I had those emotional fits, but now it just went into this addiction and obsession. And if I was around the edge of a roof, I'd have to back up because I'd think about jumping. If I was around knives, I'd have to like close the door, like the drawer if they're in there, so that I wouldn't think about cutting myself. And one day I'm sitting on my bed and I'm looking around my apartment and there's just like instruments everywhere, clothes everywhere, dishes in the sink that literally hadn't been washed in 2 weeks, so there's just like flies coming out. And I'm sitting on the bed, and this light comes through the window and hits me on the chest. And in that moment, I knew I had a choice. I could live, or I could die. And I picked up the phone, and I called my mom, and I said, "Mom, I'm not fine. Something is really, really wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm not okay." And I started getting treatment right away, therapy, medication, and it got better. It wasn't easy. I like to point that out because one of the most important things we could do is speak loudly about this, right? But it's hard. It's hard to talk about this for anyone, especially when it's new. But I did have this one day when I left therapy. Is anyone from New York here? Okay, so there's this really dope street called Gay Street. If you haven't been there, you should go. And Gay Street's like all cobblestones, and there's like roses along the wall. And so I walk out of therapy, and the day is beautiful, just like September 11th. It's like gorgeous out, and I feel it, like time slows down. And I walk out on this street, and I realize that as long as I'm willing to accept and admit that sometimes things aren't okay, there'll always be another beautiful day. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hi, I'm Stolar. Nice to meet you. I often just tell that story and leave, but right now we're take a second to connect because I know that can be a little intense. Are you guys okay? I'm really okay, so we're okay. Thank you. This is Adrian. She's from New Jersey. How about a round of applause? I'm also from New Jersey, hence all of my ripped clothing. Bruce, love you, buddy. So, as they said before, I'm an artist, and I have a project right now called Raw Emotions. And with Raw Emotions, every month is a different emotion that we explore, and I release a song that's connected to that emotion. And I also collaborate with different artists. I actually made these clothes with an artist in the month of regret, and the clothes represent the scars and the things that happen to us when we're depressed or angry, or you just had a breakup and you're sad, or you have an addiction, or you're bipolar, or whatever. It's wearing those scars proudly. So every month is a different emotion. And when I play a show, which is usually a little longer than this, my goal is to completely rip open my chest, not literally, but and not be naked, but open up to you guys to the point that we feel like we've been drunk at 2 a.m. crying about our deepest problems with each other. So I know we don't know each other at all, but can you go there with me? Can we do that? Cool. So the first thing I'm gonna do is play a song called Savior. And this song was interesting. I wrote it very quickly. It was 20 minutes, the whole song, and I had no idea what it was about, because you'll hear it's essentially a story talking to someone who's been going through addiction, saying, as long as you're willing to deal with your own issues, I'll be there for you. But if you're not, I can't be here for you. I am not in a relationship with anyone like that. So I was like, what is this about? And I realized a couple days later that it was about me, connected to that story, that as long as I'm willing to say, hey, some mornings I feel like shit. Okay, I'll stay with you. My name's Jay Stolar. I'm just gonna call myself Jay, so I'll be like, I'm with you, Jay. I got you. Do you know what I mean? But if I never admitted it, I don't know if I could just continue to move forward. Does that make sense to you guys? So, this is Savior. You, my love, are everything. I have been telling you that for months now. But all my friends are worried for me, 'cause all they see is you blacking out. But baby, how could I just leave you here? You know that I would never do that. 'Cause when you're drowning, we're both losing it. And baby, I'm trying to pull you back. If you let me save you, you let me save you. You let me save you. You let me save you. Hold those words before you regret all the things you might say. I know you're drunk, I know you're upset, so sleep it off till the morning.
But baby, how could I just leave you here? You know that I would never do that. 'Cause when you drown and we're both losing it. And baby, I'm trying to pull you back. If you let me save you, let me save you. You let me save you. You let me save you. So try to remember the times I laid you down to rest and put you in the shower to try to wake you up. I can't promise to be here till the end if you can't say those words out loud. Let me save you. You let me save you. You let me save you. Baby, you let me save you. Oh, ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thank you. All right. So, I talked about before getting treatment and kind of like, sometimes you think like, oh, I got treatment and I'm just better. So I'm asking you guys a couple questions. Who knows anyone here who's ever been depressed or has been depressed themselves? Okay, it's a good question. Who has ever been anxious before? Okay. Who brushes their teeth every day? Who takes 5 minutes every day to take care of your brain? So, for me, what I found after, like, the medication part was not fun. That lasted 3 years, I think. I think I took 12 medications. They were like, you have ADD, you're depressed, you have anxiety, you have bipolar. Maybe we don't know. You have bipolar, but bipolar is confusing, and it's like a big bullseye, and we're just trying to find the right place. I'm like, this is my head. This is not darts at some bar in New Hampshire. You know what I mean? But that's what it felt like. So I found something for myself. It works for me, but I thought I would share it with you, and I call it the dig. Can you bring up my fun little pie chart? This is my pie chart. I actually write all my lyrics in a black notebook with this silver pen. So I found a bunch of things that help, and I like talking about it because it's not just about therapy, and it's not just about medication, it's about a lot of things. And to be totally honest with you guys, like, I've been traveling. I was in London and then Nashville and then New York and here all in the last 10 days. I woke up feeling just horrible this morning for no reason. There was no reason for it. But I called my friends. I went to the gym. I did my morning routine. I played music. I went for a walk. I felt better, you know? So it's having a slew of things that work for me. So talk about it a little bit. Friends and family, not just like, oh, I have friends, but actually having friends and staying in touch with them and talking to them about your life. I know some of this stuff is really, really simple, but is it cool to share the simplicity with you guys? Okay. Body, I think Brooke did a good job of showing us what the capabilities are of having fun and expressing yourself with your body are, which was great. But body to me is just everything with your body. Dancing, going to the gym, just taking care of your body. Medicine and supplements, that's simple. Accountability. So for me, that's a little specific, but I have a group every Tuesday. We talk for 15 minutes. It's 3 different artists, and we just check in on, like, how's your daily routine doing? How's your life? How do you feel about this crazy business of artistry that we try to do that makes absolutely no sense? And it's great, and it makes us all feel really good. Morning routine. Does anyone have a morning routine here? I think it's the most important. It's like nothing has changed my life more than waking up in the morning and meditating, I do some movement, and then I do something that I call the dig, which is where I turn on a recorder and I improvise melodies and lyrics for 10 minutes. Now, everyone's different. I'm not going to suggest that you go and do that in the morning. But for me, it connects with purpose and passion. So when I wake up in the day and I go and sing and create, it's connected to what's most important to me. And I remember why. Just why we're even here, you know? Why it's so important to take a breath when you wake up in the morning and go into the day like it's going to be the best day of your entire life. And space, I learned this when I actually went to an ashram once in Bali, and they were telling me about, I forget who it was, but this guy, he was like a spiritual leader. He would clean his toilet every morning. I'm like, that's really intense. I'm definitely not doing that. But I think creating space is huge. Your physical space, where you live, like, get things out of the way. Take 2 minutes in the morning, make your bed, clean your stuff, meditate, you know? So it's different for everyone, but what I've found, and I think the reason I like to talk about it, is it's just not as simple as therapy and medication. There's a lot of different pieces, and we need to find what those are for ourselves and be willing to talk about it, explore it. And for me, speaking loudly is this. Literally speaking loudly. I don't know if next to a morning routine, I think talking about this and being open about it is possibly the most impactful thing I get to do. So thank you guys so much for being here. Is this real this time? Am I cool? All right, this is the part that scares me that I don't want to do. So, I've done this 2 times before. I'm gonna do a live dig for you guys. So we're gonna pick an emotion, and then I'm just gonna make up and create something around that emotion. Is that cool with you? I feel like it made her more nervous than it made me. So someone choose an emotion. These are beautiful. And if anyone wants to talk about emotions, we can, because I feel like it gets stretched. Like, is passion an emotion? Kind of. I like joy. That sound good?
Hey, yesterday I was in Nashville, Tennessee. Old friend of mine from Los Angeles named Billy Van. He had 2 babies walking around everywhere they went. They were like, Uncle Jay, I think you're crazy. Way you play guitar, it makes me happy. Uncle Jay, I guess you're somebody who. And then I went up to my room thinking, why? To be honest, what am I doing with my life now? What am I thinking of here? So when will be the time that I have children of my own? When will be the time that I looked them in the eye and I said, oh, you gotta realize this is not a simple world. You gotta realize there's challenges you're gonna face, and people gonna say shit you don't wanna hear and look you right in the eyes and maybe make you feel like something that you're not. And I'll say, baby, I love you for who you are. I love you more than anybody ever will. And we can be joyful. Oh, that's cool. You guys repeat that after me. I'll go. We can be joyful. You go. Joyful. Yeah, we can be joyful. Oh, yeah. We can be joyful. When the darkness is in the night, when you're feeling your worst, you can be. At the NAMI conference in New Orleans, you can be. Whenever you need me, I'll be joy. Yeah, 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 babe. When the lights get darkest, hey, you don't know where to go. Even when you're sad, baby, we can be joyful. We can be joyful. Thank you all so much. To Katrina, to everyone here. You guys were unbelievable. It's an honor. Nice to meet you.